Hey everybody, welcome to this video guide for Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered on the Xbox Series X. Today we are completing the third memory in the Tyranny of King Washington Infamy expansion pack and getting 100% synchronization on it. And to do so, you need to make sure you don't touch any rocks during slides and you kill the elk without alerting it. And I would like to also mention that you can take advantage of the time codes in the description or in the play bar to jump around to whatever specific points in the video that you may need, whether that be some 100% synchronization requirements or maybe even a cutscene. Whatever you need, it is there for you to jump around to. Alright, now that I got all of that out of the way, let's get started with this memory.
You are on your own now.
How dangerous is it?
Each journey to the Skyworld is unlike any other. For some, it is very dangerous. You will find your answers are at the very top of the Willow.
Alright, at the beginning of the memory, you need to reach the top of the red willow tree. This isn't too difficult. All you need to do is sort of follow the path that is laid out for you. Once you arrive at the top, retrieve the red willow tree flower or whatever it is. I don't actually recall what we grab, but grab the thing at the top and then you're going to be performing a leap of faith to get back down. And then there will be a cutscene, at which point we start up on the 100% synchronization requirement for not touching any rocks during the slides. So I will see you then.
I am sorry, Mother. I must speak to Washington to make sense of this. It is the only way.
Alright, now we are going to be getting started on our next 100% synchronization requirement, which is for making sure you don't touch any rocks during the slides. So really in this portion, all you need to do is follow the wolves and then listen for heartbeats. That is where you're going to be locating the elk. And you do come upon a few sliding sequences. I think there are 3 total, there were for me at least. And it is fairly easy to avoid the rocks as they come. I think we're coming up on a slide sequence pretty soon. It is fairly easy to avoid the rocks, but it's not like it's that easy. You want to make sure you're keeping an eye on what's ahead of you, and that's probably the best case scenario for you to be able to avoid it. Make sure you're headed the right direction rather than straight into a rock. You can see right here we're starting up. You can see I'm staying away from the rocks on the left side and just keeping an eye on what is in front of me, making sure I'm not going too fast or getting too close to anything, and you'll have a much easier time if you do just that. I come upon 2 sections later on that, do have a ton of rocks, and I had to do a pretty good job at avoiding them, but I didn't have too bad of like spawning, and I didn't have too much issue avoiding them, so you really shouldn't have too much trouble. I'll talk about it more once we get to the next slide, but what we're doing here is looking for the elk by listening to its heartbeat. So all you really need to do is listen in on your game and make sure you're going in the direction of when the heartbeat gets stronger. You'll come upon the elk, and then the elk will run away, and then we are going to be continuing down the path following the wolves. And that is when we are going to come upon another sliding sequence. So it's really just like rinse and repeat. I think there are 3 total slide sequences, and you need to find the elk 3 total times. The final time is when you kill it, of course. So it is just a matter of continuing on. Once we do get to the second slide, it is right about here. You can see I don't have any problem avoiding this rock here. I do get a bit close, but I didn't have too much issue there. I thought it was only the tree I had to avoid, so that got a bit sketchy. Right here, this is one of the harder sections I came upon. It was just a ton of rocks really close by, but it was a decent opening for me to be able to avoid the rocks, so it wasn't the worst thing ever. You should hopefully get as lucky as me, or maybe you'll have the same path. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's not too difficult to avoid them. You get to go a pretty far distance when you're sliding by just tilting to the left or the right, so just make sure you're aware of what's in front of you and you should have no problem there. All right, now it is just another rinse and repeat, finding the elk and then sliding down once again. I'm going to be returning once we get to the next 100% synchronization requirement, so I will see you there. Alright, so now it is time for us to locate the elk, and when we do locate the elk, you need to remember that you cannot alert it when you kill it, because that is the 100% synchronization requirement, so be cautious of that when you are approaching it. Now it is just a matter of honing in on the heartbeat noise. You just gotta be paying attention and listening for the heartbeat. It's not super hard. You can see I'm just like going around the area, finding the actual location of where I should be headed. It's getting stronger here, so I'm headed there. It's getting weaker there, so I'm headed the opposite direction. That kind of thing. It isn't too hard. It's just a game of hot and cold, right? And you'll know you made it to the elk's location when this brief cutscene plays. The wolf goes into Connor, and then it's like, oh wow, I got this awesome power. And once you do have this power, you are going to be using it on the elk. So you don't want to rush ahead right away. You want to make sure you use the wolf cloak, so that way you are invisible to the elk. So you can see right here, I am going to be using the wolf cloak to slowly go up upon the elk and then assassinate it. I made a mistake the first time when I just rushed right in and I alerted it immediately. So this is what you want to do. You want to make sure you are cloaked the entire time until you kill it. And once you do kill it, that is 100% synchronization acquired. So thank you very much for watching. If I was able to help you, please do drop a like on the video. If you did enjoy the content, please do consider sticking around and subscribing, because we're going to be continuing to post more and more content just like this, and we're not stopping anytime soon. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed and that I was able to help. I will see you in the next one.